My name is Lena. I grew up in a small town where everyone knows your name. I was just a normal girl with a heart full of dreams. I dreamed of love, of finding that one person who would look at me and see my soul. I dreamed of gentle hands and a smile that was just for me, a smile that made me feel like I was the most important person in the world. When I married Adam at 22, those dreams felt so close, but so did my fears. I was so scared of the wedding night. My friends had shared so many different stories. Some said it was painful and they cried themselves to sleep. Others whispered it was the most beautiful moment of their lives. I was left feeling completely confused, my mind a whirlwind of worry and uncertainty. What would happen to me? Would it hurt? Would he be kind? The not knowing was a heavy weight in my chest. Our wedding day was a beautiful, exhausting blur. There was so much noise, so many smiling faces, photos, and dancing. I smiled until my cheeks ached. But when it was time to leave my parents' house, my heart felt like it was breaking. I hugged my mom and dad, and the tears finally fell. I was leaving my childhood behind, walking into a new life I didn't fully understand. I felt so young and small. When we arrived at our new home, his family welcomed me with open arms. Everyone was laughing and celebrating, but I could barely hear them over the sound of my own pounding heart. My hands were like ice, and my lips were so dry from nervousness. I kept smiling, but inside, I was trembling. Finally, the last guest left, and the house grew quiet. Adam's mother gently led me to our bedroom. The room was softly lit, and the air smelled like vanilla and roses. Someone had scattered pink flower petals across the white bedsheets. It was beautiful, but it made my anxiety spike. This was it. I sat on the very edge of the bed, my eyes fixed on my hands folded in my lap. I could hear everything, the gentle tick-tock of the clock on the wall, the whisper of the wind through the trees outside, and the quiet, steady beat of my own heart. Then, the door creaked open slowly. I didn't look up, but I knew it was him. Adam. My husband. We had said our vows in front of everyone, but in this quiet room, he felt like a stranger. I heard his footsteps on the carpet, soft and hesitant. My breath caught in my throat, and I held myself perfectly still, like a statue. He sat down on the bed, but not right next to me. He left a kind, respectful space between us. For a long moment, there was only silence. It wasn't an angry or demanding silence. It was waiting. Then he spoke. His voice was soft and calm, like a warm blanket on a chilly evening. Lena, he began, I know this is all so new. And it's okay. We don't have to rush anything. Can we just talk for a little while? His words were so unexpected. I slowly turned my head to look at him. And when I did, I saw that he was nervous too. His smile was a little shy, and his eyes held a gentle worry. He looked at me not like a husband claiming his wife, but like someone who was afraid of scaring away a little bird. Seeing his own nervousness made a tiny knot of fear inside me begin to loosen. He reached over to the nightstand, picked up a glass of water, and held it out to me. "You look like you could use this," he said softly. When my fingers brushed against his as I took the glass, a little spark of warmth traveled up my arm. My cheeks flushed, and I had to look down again. He gave a small, gentle laugh. "You don't need to be so scared, Lena. I promise, I'm not going to bite you." The silliness of his words, the kindness in his tone, made a real, genuine smile touch my lips for the first time that night. It was a small smile, but it felt like the sun breaking through the clouds. And then he started to talk. He told me about his day. He confessed that his wedding shoes were a size too small and that his feet were killing him. He described how he'd been so nervous walking down the aisle that he almost tripped over his own feet. He admitted, his voice low and a little embarrassed, that he had stood outside this very door for a full minute, his heart racing, just as scared as I was. I was amazed. I had thought all the fear and shyness was mine alone to carry. To hear him share his own worries made me feel less alone. It made us a team. There was another comfortable silence, and then he looked at me, his eyes sincere. "Lena," he whispered, can I hold your hand?" I looked at his outstretched hand, then back into his eyes, and I nodded, my heart beginning a new, different kind of drumbeat in my chest. He took my hand in his. His hand was so much bigger than mine, strong and warm. But he didn't squeeze it tightly. He held it gently, as if my hand was something precious and delicate. His thumb began to slowly, softly, stroke the back of my hand. That one, simple movement sent waves of comfort through my whole body. It wasn't a demand, it was a question. It was a promise. In that touch, I felt safe. I felt seen. I felt my fear melting away, replaced by a soft, glowing warmth. He looked down at our joined hands and then back at me. "Lena," he said, his voice firm with kindness, "we don't have to do anything tonight that you're not ready for. I want you to feel safe with me. I never want you to feel scared of me. We have our whole lives ahead of us. There's no rush." Tears welled up in my eyes instantly, blurring my vision. I didn't even know why I was crying. Maybe it was the relief after so much fear. Maybe it was because I realized my dreams of a kind and gentle love were coming true. A single tear escaped and rolled down my cheek. He saw it. Without a word, he reached up and gently wiped it away with his thumb. His touch was so soft, so full of care. It wasn't a touch of passion, but a touch of pure, simple love. I closed my eyes, leaning into his hand for a moment. Then, he slowly leaned forward and pressed a soft, warm kiss to my forehead. He held his lips there for a long, peaceful moment. I could feel his warm breath on my skin, and it didn't feel like a kiss on my forehead. It felt like a kiss directly on my heart, sealing a promise. He whispered, his voice barely audible, "Let's let tonight be the start of something truly good, Lena. No pressure. Just you and me, learning to love each other." We lay down together then, side by side on the flower-strewn bed. He shifted closer and put his arms around me, holding me close. I rested my head on his chest, and I could hear the steady, strong, calm rhythm of his heartbeat beneath my ear. That sound was the most comforting lullaby I had ever heard. He gently kissed my hair, and his fingers traced soft, slow circles on my arm. After a while, he leaned down, his eyes asking a silent question. My heart was no longer beating with fear, but with a hopeful, trusting rhythm. I gave him a tiny, sure nod. He kissed me then. It wasn't a perfect, movie-style kiss. It was a little awkward, a little shy, but it was soft and real and full of more meaning than any perfect kiss could ever be. It was our first kiss as husband and wife, and it was beautiful because it was built on trust. That night, we didn't focus on being a husband and wife in the way the world often expects. We focused on being two people, Adam and Lena, who promised to care for each other. We didn't rush to cross a line. Instead, we created a safe, warm space for our love to grow. We didn't chase a physical moment, we shared a sacred one. Now, years later, when I look back on that first night, I don't just smile. My heart swells with a deep, grateful joy. Not because of what did or didn't happen, but because of how it happened. I want every young woman to know this: your heart, your trust, your first night, it all belongs to you. It should never, ever be ruled by fear. It should be about feeling safe, feeling seen, and feeling deeply, truly respected. And to every man, I want to say, be kind. Be patient. Listen more than you speak. Hold her hand before you hold her heart. Because true, lasting love doesn't start with a touch. It starts with trust, one gentle moment at a time. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Pass it on to someone else who needs to hear it. Because every girl deserves to feel safe, and every great love story should always, always begin with respect.